On page 2-12, we are going to learn how to multiply monomials. So remember, a monomial is just one term, a number with a variable, just a variable. It can have exponents, all of that stuff. On page 211, we added and subtracted monomials. So if we look right here quick at number 5, -3 plus 11 gives us 8, and then the R and the S stayed exactly how they were. What's going to happen when we're multiplying them is we're going to have to change the exponents now. All right, so let's just look at this for an example. If I had x squared times x to the third, if I wrote that all out, x squared is x times x, right? There's two of them. Times, so that's this one, x to the third is 1, 2, 3 x's. Well, that means I have 5 total, so x to the 5th. So the way I get 5 from 2 and 3 is I add them together. So even though you're multiplying, what you do with your exponents is you add them. So we call that the product rule. X to the A times x to the B. Notice these two have to be the same. Your bases have to be the same. X to the A plus B. So what we're going to do is we're going to find each product, and you have to write them using positive exponents. So we have to remember what to do about negative exponents also from chapter 1. So for 17, you do not do 4 times 4 to make it 16. That is the biggest mistake. It stays 4, and then 3 plus 8 gives me 11. So 4 to the 11th is your final answer. Number 18, you leave the -7 in parentheses. 4 plus 5 is 9. So -7 in parentheses to the 9th power. Number 19, the 2 stays. We do not make it 4. -6 plus 2 is -4. So we have to use positive exponents. So you have to remember from Unit 1 that negative exponents have to go to the bottom. So this becomes 1 over 2 to the 4th. And we don't actually want to evaluate it. We're just going to leave it as 1 over 2 to the 4th. Number 20, we leave this as 15. Most people just leave the 6, but that is incorrect. Remember, this is a 1 here, so this would be 15 to the 7th power. 1 plus 6 gives us 7. 21, 5. 9 plus -1 gives us 8, so 5 to the 8th. 22, we leave the -1, add these two together, we get -5. So just like up here in 19, we need to move that to the bottom. 1 over -1 to the 5th. So all of those had numbers. You left the big number, the base, as it was, and then added the exponents. We do the same thing even if it's variables. So x times x to the 5th becomes x to the 7th. 2 plus 5 gives us 7. 24, m to the -1 times m to the 3rd would be m to the +2. -1 plus 3 is +2. Number 25, k to the -7th times k to the 7th is k to the 0, but that cannot be our final answer. We need to remember from Unit 1 that anything to the 0 power is just 1. So 1 is your final answer for 25. 26, we have more than 2, but it's the same rule. 1 plus 3 plus -9 gives us a to the -5. Again, we cannot have negative exponents, so 1 over a to the +5. 27 has two different variables, so you can only combine the ones that match. So in that case, these are x's. So that becomes x to the third, and then the y just goes with it. 28. We have s's that match. So s1 plus 1 is 2. And then r to the negative 6. So the s to the second stays on top because it's positive, and then r to the negative 6 goes to the bottom and becomes r to the positive 6. So that was all multiplication with either just numbers for our bases or just variables for our bases. What gets a little bit trickier is when you have both big numbers and variables and exponents. So if you look at 29, our big numbers, the official word for them is coefficients, 4 and 2. You need to multiply those numbers. So 4 times 2 gives me 8. Then those can go away. Then it becomes a, 7 plus 3 is 10. So 8a to the 10th. Multiply your coefficients, your big numbers, add your little numbers. Don't forget the variable with it. So number 30, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So then those go away. Those are your big numbers. Your small number would be 1 plus 2, so negative 15, m to the third. A lot of people think that means it goes to the bottom, but it does not because it's a negative coefficient, not a negative exponent. 31, 2 times negative 7 times 3. That would give us negative 42. So that takes care of our big numbers. W is our variable. Negative 1 plus 4 plus 5 gives us 8. Negative 42 w to the 8th. 32. 8 times 2 gives us 16. P is our variable. Negative 5 plus negative 1 plus positive 1 gives us negative 5. So here you need to remember that the 16 stays on top, and then it becomes p to the positive 5th on the bottom. 33. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. The parentheses are just in there for the multiplication. This is a to the 1 and a to the 2, so that's a to the 3. B to the 1, b to the 3 becomes b to the 4th. (34) Negative 12 times 1/3 gives me negative 4. P, 8 plus 3 is 11. Q, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So remember, anything to the 0 power is 1, so your final answer is just negative 4p to the 11th. You don't have a q left at all. 35. So we have 7 and 2 and negative 1. So negative 14. C to the 3 plus 1 plus another 3 gives us 7. D to the 2 plus 1 plus 8 gives us 11. Negative 14, C to the 7th, D to the 11th. 36. We have a negative 1, a 4, and a 7. Again, it's multiplying, so negative 28. A to the first, 8, and another 1 gives us 10. B, 1, and 2, and 6 gives us 9. negative 28, a to the 10th, b to the 9th. These last two have multiplication and addition. So right here, you have to notice we're adding these two things together. So order of operations says we have to multiply first. So you're going to just multiply the two sets separately. So here we do negative 8 times 2 gives us negative 16. K, 4 plus 1 gives us 5. Bring down your plus sign. 3 times 1 is 3. K, 2 plus 3 is 5. Only because these two match can we add them. If you didn't have the same variable with the same exponent, you would not be able to add them together. So negative 16 plus 3 gives us negative 13, k to the 5th. When you're adding, you do not change the exponent. Same thing with 38, only now this is subtraction. So we have this term minus this term. So 9 times 2 is 18, m to the 7th, n to the 4th, minus 4 times 3 is 12, m to the 7th, n to the 4th. With these problems, if you don't have matching variables, then something went wrong. So 18 minus 12 gives me 6. The variables with the exponents stay the same. So 6, m to the 7th, n to the 4th.